like it's missing frames. It's flashing.
Yeah, really. It probably is. It doesn't look near as cool as... Hey, another week, another video. Or I should say another week, another project. Today I'm going to be working on a aluminum can furnace. Well, a forge. Based off of the design that Grant Thompson used in his video. Of course, instead of a metal bucket, I'm going to be using aluminum, what is this called again? Can't remember what it's called, but it's that stuff you put on windows. The screen. So I'm going to be using window screening instead of a bucket. Hopefully it'll be enough reinforcement. So we'll see what happens. So I wanted to make my forge just a little bit thicker than Grant's here. So what I did is I went ahead and got a couple plastic buckets. I figured out what size that I wanted. Nice thing with this bucket, it's 4 quarts. And it's got a little measurement on it. So after measuring it out, I figured I need about 7.5 quarts of material to make it the size that I want it to be. Alright, and here I've got my play sand. I'm going to use a mixture of about a little bit more than 1/3 of both of these and enough water to make it consistency of cake mix, I believe, until it hardens up. So the play sand was about $4. The plaster of Paris was about $15. The buckets themselves were about... Well, the big bucket was like $2.50. The small bucket was about $2. So it's not that big of a project. Aluminum screening is just left over from another project that I did. So it's already half size, about what I need for the bucket. So that was just basically scrap. So I think that was like $8 for the roll originally. So first things first, since I don't want to actually destroy this bucket and try to reuse it later on, put a thin layer of wax in the bucket, on the bottom of the bucket. Hopefully they'll be able to slide back off. And since I don't want to mix material in there, I've got an old bucket that I used to use for concrete, and I'll go ahead and mix it all up in there. That bucket has a bunch of cracks. I just put a bunch of tape on it to keep it together for the time being. Alright, so this is not really going to show up on camera too well, but what I did is I made a circular section for the bottom of the pail in the, I can never remember the name of this stuff. I don't know why it's that hard. But, yeah. Right there. Definitely not the prettiest thing in the world, but it's in there. So I got one piece at the bottom, one piece on the outside here. Hopefully that'll keep it reinforced. Like I said, I never intended this to look good. I just intended it to work good. So, time to mix the plaster. It was definitely a bit of a mess. It's in there, it's setting now, but I realized as soon as I started mixing everything that I got the mixture wrong, because I wanted about 7.5 quarts. And I forgot, well, first off, the account for all the stuff that gets left over in the bucket when you mix it. And it just was odd. So, and all the stuff that gets absorbed by the water. So it's weird to mix it, but it's in now. It's good. I just have to let it sit for a couple hours and see what happens. All right, so I finally got it out of the bucket. The mini bucket here, it got a little warped pulling it out, but it came out. Honestly, didn't come out too bad. I sanded it down a little bit on the top here. It's definitely gritty. The only thing I'm concerned with is the bits here. They're a little sharp, which the problem is I don't want to pull them out because it'll just unravel the back, the front part of it. So the way it came out, I almost think I don't even need that. So next thing I'm going to do, I actually started already. Just got to drill a hole in there to get the pipe to put the blower in. Alright, so for the blower, I went ahead and just took a piece of galvanized piping, shoved it in that hole I made, and I'll be able to use my shop vac with a variable switch to control the heat. Now for a crucible, what I'm hoping to do is take one of these propane tanks that I can't really use anymore and relieve the pressure, cut it up, and hopefully that'll work for at least a short time until I can actually get a decent crucible. I'm definitely going to go ahead and use this one because I made the mistake of overfilling this once. I've relieved most of the pressure already, so it's not dangerous for me to hold, but yeah, it's this one's definitely not usable to put any propane in anymore. It's way too bulged out. Even though it didn't feel like much, there was still a lot of liquid propane left in that. I mean, you can see where it iced up. I got it facing downwards now just to make sure that every little drop pops out. It, hopefully, after a little bit, the pressure will regulate back to oxygen and we should be good. Alright, so if this even works as a crucible, it probably won't last very long. I guarantee you the bottom's going to bust out. But the nice thing is the bottom has that really nice rounded taper. I'm curious of whether or not the seams will pop off completely, but we'll find out. So all I have to do is get some charcoal real quick. I already put some bolts on, or I'll show you, hold on. Almost forgot to show you this. So I made the top of the top of the furnace here. Same stuff as before, but I did put some more of that screen in there as support material. We'll see how long that actually lasts. It might just come apart completely on the first test run here, but it was I just put a smaller container in the middle to make sure there was a hole, so I can actually put that on top, hold in the heat, and just blast the thing. And then I have some steel threaded U-bolts here to hold it in place, or so I can take it up without having to burn myself here. So I'll probably just put a metal rod in there to pick it up. So I'll get some charcoal, fire this up, and hold on. And we'll see what happens. Alright, so everything's in place. Crucible's in, charcoals are laid, the shop vac's ready. I just have to put it on the blower end rather than the suck end. Actually, never mind, I actually do have it on there already. And that fits, the end fits perfectly on the hose, but I don't want to put that hose until it's actually blowing, or else it could mess up the shop vac. And then I got a little speed controller here I built. And so I have two things that it could do. It could work perfectly like I designed it to, or it could just explode. So we'll find out. It's getting there. So I put a lot more charcoal in now because I was getting to about 1,000 degrees, but I wasn't getting any further. One of the problems that I'm having is, you can tell part of it's getting red, but that very bottom that has that weird spot on it, it's not heat up quite as much. So we'll see if this actually goes through. Alright, so this goes up to about 1,000 degrees and it doesn't quite want to read it anymore. So how about the outside here? The laser doesn't want to go. So the outside of it is about 157. Oh man, as soon as I put the lid back on, all the cans that I had in there melted. Awesome. Give me an uncrushed can, I want to show it. Uncrushed.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so one of the problems that we had so far is I'm blowing so much air in there, it's not letting me put the can in. But the can is still melting almost immediately now. So we gotta use crushed cans. Oh man, look at that.
Make sure to actually crush these.
That's crazy, man. Whoa! Good thing I'm doing it in the fire pit. We might have to turn that heat down one more.
More?
Yeah. My only concern now is it might actually be too hot. It might melt the steel. Look at that fly. Oh man. Oh, it's gonna kick out if I don't push it down. Get in there. Wonder how much aluminum I got in there yet. I want to get that.
Half the can.
Oh yeah, that's just absolutely beautiful. It's a shame I can't get this camera down there very far. So I decided to try some wood pellets instead and see what happens, and it gets really, really loud, but it's awesome.
Whoa.
Alright, let's see if we can get a little bit out of that.
Oh man. Whoops.
Yeah, a little bit better. Sorry. Once it catches, it'll fast. So we'll try to get as much aluminum out of that as possible. That's neat.
Very neat. Hey, there's your thumbnail. No, what?
Little muffins.
They really are, though. Are they still?
They're still partially molten.
Wow. Oh man, look at that fire, though.
Yeah, man.
Oh, it's so good.
Let's see how much we can get out of here. Yeah, pellets are definitely the way to go, I think. Oh, we'll have to stock up. How much do they cost per bag? $5 is not bad. These 2 bags of charcoal, that charcoal that only lasted me like 15 minutes was $2.50 a bag.
It won't come off. Oh man, that has just become white on the camera.
Oh gosh,
I'm not sure if those would help too much. This won't damage your camera, right?
No.
And it's started.
Alright, let's see if we can get anything out of this slag left.
Woohoo!
Oh yeah.
Uh-oh.
That's alright. Actually, turn off the heat real quick.
Alrighty. More?
More. Like, nearly all the way down. Turn it up a little bit.
Too much?
Turn it down a little bit.
Ooh, careful, you're not wearing your gloves.
I know. turn it up.
Keep going? Or is that good?
Might as well. That's good.
Oh! Here we go again with the flames coming out the sides. Like some great flaming eyebrows.
I'm surprised this thing is holding up in this heat.
Yeah. Looks like you made a good mixture, eh?
Yeah, man.
So, the... Okay. More? Or is that good?
Turn it down more. Well, we could do pottery now.
Yeah. So it has that metal wire mesh throughout the entire thing, I'm assuming?
Just on the outsides, really.
Oh, okay.
And then there's like a donut shape for the top part.
How much of a success would you say this is?
I would say that it is pretty good, with exception of that bottom part that's on the propane stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But for about $20, I could actually buy a real crucible made out of clay and graphite. You can see how hot it got because the bottom section of this melted off.
Wow.
But I can probably reuse this a couple more times. But I'll probably cut that bottom piece off.
Okay, so it's got like an outer...
There's probably a little bit of aluminum left in the slag, but
They really do
lose a
look like
little
just
bit.
flat
Yeah,
muffins.
these come out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that easy, apparently. I didn't expect you to dump them immediately.
Come back here.
Doesn't look at the grass.
Yeah.
Really? It's not really picking up the smoke, dang.
No. Wow, that heated up the water pretty good.
Yeah, let's get a...
There's a couple particles left in it, but...
Wow, it's pretty decent, though. It's a nice chunk of aluminum.
Oh, it's pretty heavy, too, yeah.
Oh, man. I'm so hungry for muffins right now.